Chairman, thanks for holding this important hearing on recovery efforts from 2017 and looking forward to the 2018 season. We already have fires burning in the West, and it's going to be another bad fire year, and we don't know what will happen with hurricanes. On Friday, we finally got FEMA's after-action report on 2017. They admitted in that report what everyone knew. The agency's response was inadequate, to put it mildly, and in the case of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, outrageously inadequate. They admit that they did not pre-position enough commodities, such as food, water, generators, before Irma and Maria struck the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. They acknowledge they experienced delays in delivering supplies to territories, despite the fact that in 2014 they led a national level exercise indicating that delays could be a problem during disaster and should be addressed. That's 3 years before these disasters. President Trump, living in a different reality, ignored the obvious failures and the response efforts occurring on the ground. He called it fake news, and then he went to Puerto Rico and bragged about what a great job they'd done and threw paper towels at people. He put lives at risk, and people died after his visit who should have been receiving assistance. That his boorish behavior went beyond to attacking a mayor of San Juan, who was representing her people who were suffering horribly. Then FEMA administrator, to his discredit, Brock Long, did the same thing, although later he admitted that that was inappropriate. Trump never did admit that. FEMA acknowledged its failures, but it was also, as was acknowledging its failures, it had other people on staff busy eradicating any trace of any consideration of climate change in its strategic planning. Now that's going to work out real well, isn't it? So we've got to pay attention to things that are important. Then FEMA found, that it also needs to collaborate more with state, tribal, territorial, local governments. But President Trump proposed cutting 5 preparedness grants in his budget by $471 million, or 29%, and proposed reducing funding for education, training, and exercises by $129 million, or 47%. What's going on here? Are we going to take this seriously or not? And throughout the after-action report, FEMA discussed the need to make the nation more resilient to disasters. However, the administration, again, rescinded an existing executive order, because Obama did it, establishing a federal flood risk management standard, i.e. we're not going to build any federally funded facility in a flood-prone area, or if we do build in those areas, special construction techniques would be used to protect the structure, the contents, and the personnel. Now, that has been eliminated. We're not going to consider those sort of things because we don't believe in climate change, and I guess we don't even believe in natural disasters or 100-year floods anymore. And then FEMA also mentioned the importance of pre-disaster mitigation, while the president proposed cutting funding for pre-disaster mitigation by 61%, down from an inadequate $100 million to an absolutely pathetic $39 million, which could probably be spent in any one potentially targeted city in terms of hurricanes very well and mitigate a lot of loss. So while FEMA's after-action report identifies specific improvements needed, including the need for more preparedness, mitigation, resilient rebuilding, the president in his budget says, no, none of that. We don't want that. So we here in Congress have a responsibility to move forward, and as the chairman mentioned, we have, in a bipartisan way. We're moving forward in ways to deal with disasters and potential disasters more thoughtfully. We took up a bill in the House this week I was a co-sponsor of to say that we are not going to rebuild someone's house 20 times or 30 times. It's a very small percentage of the buildings out there cost 4% of, cost 25%. Is it 4%, I think, or is it 2%? Never mind. Anyway, a very small percentage, I had the numbers before me then, cost about a quarter of FEMA's budget. And FEMA, of course, our flood insurance program is bankrupt. So we passed a bill to get a study to see if entering into agreements with people in structures that have been repeatedly destroyed to agree to pay them full market value the next time it's destroyed, and reducing their flood insurance risk program will save money. I think it's a no-brainer. It will. I mean, some people have been rebuilt multiple times. So we need to do better. We need to act smarter. We need to do actually all these things that have been enumerated, and Congress is the only hope we have of delivering on that reality.
Thank you. I now recognize